Hi everyone, welcome back. It's Gina once again, and I am doing 8 smaller pieces this time. I'm using the same watercolor paper. I spritzed my page with just regular water, and I just threw some acrylic paint on it because I couldn't find my dish, that the tray that you put paint in. Yeah, I couldn't find it, so I just kind of sprinkled the paint on, and I'm spreading it with a brush. For those of you who are maybe new, this is my attempt at trying to continue and hopefully finish at some point 100 days of using my prints. I'm doing the 100-day project challenge. So what I have is a lot of prints, and I have not been using them. So I decided to use this challenge to get my prints down so that I can make more prints. Because doing prints, it's so much fun. It's so relaxing. It's just awesome. And I want to make more, actually. I've been feeling like making more recently, and I don't want to because I still have a lot. And even though I've been using them, because I've been getting them into smaller pieces, it feels chunkier. So I'm thinking about storage now. Like, how can I file them so that they're more, I don't know, easier to find? Not find so much, but, just probably storage in terms of size, maybe, or maybe color. I'm leaning more towards color, trying to figure out how to store it, and easy access as well, and stuff like that. So I am just finding I actually have been in the mood to kind of file and sort. Sometimes you catch different vibes, and sometimes you feel to clean, sometimes you feel to write, sometimes you feel to read, sometimes you feel to paint a lot. Well, these days, for whatever reason, I have no clue. I'm just feeling like sorting, just going through all my stuff and sorting it out and putting different things together that kind of all over the place. So I've been doing that bit by bit, piece by piece. And I found some of these pieces, which I'm so happy about, because to be honest, everybody, I'm really getting fed up of my prints. Because, you're just seeing the same prints all the time. Oh my gosh, it's kind of annoying. And I know I have a long ways to go still, but I'm kind of fed up. So that being said, by the way, I'm just stripping it down. I'm using Podge to stick them down, and I'm just sticking pieces of paper down. But these are mostly my prints. Some of them is just like book pages that I dyed with coffee or food coloring. But most of on every piece I'm doing, because we have 8 pieces there, I am using my prints, which is what I'm supposed to be doing. That's my challenge. Right. So back to what I was saying, which is, because I'm so fed up of seeing my prints all the time, I was wondering if there's any one of you would like to exchange some of your prints with me. Some of maybe your mark making, papers that you did some mark making on that you're fed up or you're tired of using, or some of your jelly prints. If you're just kind of fed up with them and you just want some different pieces, different shapes, different colors, because you didn't make them, but somebody else did, then please let me know. I will be so happy to give you some of mine and you give me some of yours. That would be awesome. It doesn't have to be a lot, because, we have to pay for shipping and mailing and stuff. It's going to be flat because it's paper. And it doesn't have to be much, but, just to have something different, that would be so cool. So if anybody's interested, y'all could let me know in the comments. My email is also down below in the description. Y'all could email me, and I will be so excited So excited! And I love to receive mail too, so that'll be like a bonus. Okay. Actually, I like to send and receive mail. Let me know, and I look forward to hearing from you all. Yay! Okay, back to my page. So, what I'm also doing is sticking down a couple of book pages because from a couple that I've done before, I realized that I actually like to stick down plain paper, white, or sometimes, they have your book page where the words didn't go. So that part that you cut off, I actually enjoy using those bits on my art because it tends to get really busy. Except the one on the upper right, you realize I just stuck down 2 pieces of paper, and it just kind of is just, and the one next to it too. Yeah, those two just kind of, I don't know, it didn't feel like it needed anything else. So I'm just going through my print. I'm trying not to complicate things. When I first started it off, I was just tearing paper and placing it on, trying to place them on all the squares, all the different sections. And then after a while, I just started to stick things down because if I kept doing that, I would just take too long to make decisions. So I was like, nope, Gina, time to stick. Going through all of this now, I'm just sticking things down because I don't want to, because they're small, it actually feels better for me, I guess, mentally at this time right now. Because sometimes I do like to work big and it's nice and it's refreshing and, yeah. But for me now, I think I'm enjoying working smaller. It feels less stressful, and I'm still also trying to continue making decisions very quickly. After this, I'm drying the glue now because I want to add some stamping. I dug around in my old stamp bag and I found my, what do you call this? It's from the envelope, the puffy envelope. The bubble, yes, it's a bubble envelope, yeah. So I just stuck it on a piece of cardboard and I was like, hey, I haven't used this in a long time, so let me use it. Came out a little messy, but I felt that was cool. So now I'm going to add some Bombay ink. Before I was just using acrylic ink, and now I'm using Bombay ink to just add some more color on my pages, on my cards. And, I taped my page off with, this is, painter's tape. So it's actually a lot less sticky than masking tape. And it comes off really nicely. There's no tearing of the page whatsoever. And it's pretty good for keeping, for not having the water spill. When you come out of your edges, I forget what you call it. Wow. Yeah, it doesn't, once I stick it down really good, it doesn't go underneath. So I'm adding some splishy splashes to some of them. And I'm just wriggling my brush, pulling and wriggling and just, holding it very lightly on the edge, on the tip there. And just twirling my brush. And now I'm adding brown to that in the same way that I added the yellow. Looks like mustard, huh? And then we have some blue. It's a kind of turquoise blue. It's lovely. I love this blue. It's so sweet. And this took forever to drip. It looks like it's quick because I sped up the video, but it took forever to go. I was like, wow. And you see, I ended up using my finger. It's like, okay, you're taking too long. So I'm just making some lines and spreading the paint here and there. I just wanted to add some of this color on different sections. So I was actually tapping that to get some paint on the page, and the brush ended up hitting the page by mistake. So I just went with it. It's like, oops, that wasn't supposed to happen. So yeah. I'm just going to add them on some of the cards, not all of them, to see And now my cards are getting pretty dark, but I am trying my best to keep some white space. You see the top left has just a chunky bit left. But I was trying so hard to keep white space. The amazing thing is I did not use white at all in this. Oh, did I? No, I didn't. So here I'm adding some black acrylic paint. It's not coming out as black as I would like. That, especially that top left one. So I'm going to add another layer to it. So I'm going to dry it first, which I'm doing now, and then add the paint, and that makes it nice and black. So here now I've dried it, and I am still going to attempt to add even more paper. I know it's ridiculous, but I'm going to try to add more paper over the top of that paint that I just added, just to see, I don't know, what I could make. One thing I could say, I really am enjoying this process and experimentation, and I want to encourage all of you to try. You know, it doesn't have to be abstract, it doesn't have to be collage like this. It could be anything, you know, whatever your 100 days is, or even if you're not taking part in the 100 days, just try it. Because there was a time I was trying to do faces, and I don't think I got to the 100, but you know, it was really cool practicing faces. And I've seen my growth from where I was, and not only where I was in terms of how it looks, but in terms of how I feel about it. I'm much more comfortable now just randomly starting to try and draw a face, rather than how I was a couple years ago, where I was just like, oh my gosh, I can't draw faces, and I was terrified of it. Well, probably not terrified, but you know, I felt like, hell no, I can't do that. You mad or what? That's the hardest thing in the world to do. That's how I used to feel about it. And now, I mean, I actually sat down and I did 2 faces in a little training session I had in work. I know I probably shouldn't be saying this, but yeah. Because the lady was talking, and, you know, the room was extremely cold, and I said, you know what, maybe I could draw a face while she's doing this, and I did. And then she kept talking, and I mean, I was responding and stuff, you know, I was taking part, but that was like my doodle, you know, people doodle. Yeah, that was like me doodling. So I just want to encourage all of you to, whatever it is, if you've chosen to take part in the 100 days, or if you just have your own personal challenge taking place, I want to encourage you to just continue and do something in it. It doesn't have to be something big like this. It could be just you're in a meeting and you're just doing your little doodles, or, you know, whatever it is. Actually, one of the things I would like to do is sewing. Meaning, sewing in my art. I know I'm sure I've said it before, and I think about it more often than any of you realize. I just don't do it because I still have the fear, and that's something that I have to personally overcome. I know it's easy, and I know it's simple, and I know it's, you know, it's really silly to have this fear, but I do, and that's why I haven't done it, and that's why I don't do it, because it's just tough. I think I did it maybe once or twice in a journaling session, but other than that, I think I did it on an iCard as well. So I would like, my aim is to do it within this 100 days of using my prints. We'll see how it goes. If not, I'm really planning to use it before the end of the year. Yeah. So yeah, it's on my mind a lot. So I think it's good to give ourselves challenges, you know, even if it's like me dividing my page in 8. This was a challenge. I was like, Gina, you sure you want to do 8 pieces? Because at the end of the day, it's still 8 separate pieces. And, you know, I was thinking, Gina, you really gonna do 8? That's a lot. I'm using my Jelly Roll pen here. it actually worked. Nope, this is not, hold on. So I used Hybrid and Uniball. So whichever one was working best at the time, I kind of used them interchangeably. And I also used the jelly roll, but that did not work, which is why I purchased the Hybrid and the Uniball. So I used those. I'm also using POSCA paint pens, markers, which work fantastically well. Pointer works good too. I have a little case of pointer, but they don't have black and white in it. That's their only downfall in that set. I was like, no, why would... But the other colors work really nicely. And the moment we've all been waiting for, well, I love this moment where I take off the tape and you get to see it individually. Oh, so I'm using my ruler to just mark those lines where I would have taped over gone over the tape with my papers. I'm using a utility knife to just cut into that, trying my best to do it very lightly so that I don't cut my page as well. And I'm taking my tape off. It's so exciting. I'm so excited. And I like it. It looks so pretty. The colors. Oh, I really, really like it. So I'm just eyeballing. Instead of measuring to see exactly where the middle is, I just eyeball it. And I'm drawing my lines so I could cut a straight line. But I just eyeball and kind of average where the middle of the space is. And you'll be able to tell because when I cut them, they're not all the same size. But that's okay. That is quite okay. So I'm just cutting them up and then I'm going to look at them individually and see if they need anything. So the ones on the right are the ones that I like and I think are basically completed. And the ones on the left are the ones that I don't really like and think that they need something. Otherwise, I'll probably just have to, I don't know, what was it? Yeah. So I found this sheet that I did some printing on. I'm trying to use the leaf print from it. I'm thinking I could use it on one of the cards. I'm cutting out two because one is you know, it's different prints. Each print came out differently. So I'm trying to decide if I could use it, which one, you know, if it looks good, but it really doesn't. And I'm thinking even if I add something in the background of it to help it pop, but then I would have to add some other kind of color in the background to tie in closer with the leaf, and it just wasn't working. So I didn't end up using those leaves, even though they're lovely. So it's what is wrong with me? It's okay. I'll use them somewhere else. So I was digging around and I found this container with some cutouts that I had from same printed papers. And I was like, hey, maybe I could use these. They're cool. They're nice and thick. They're full of paint. And they're nice and rough, you know. They're not smooth because the paint was thick. And it just, you know, you peel it up and you get those ridges. Yeah. So I really like those. So I'm just helping them stand out by giving them an outline with the paint marker. I like how those turned out. I don't know, these days Gabby really is not impressed with my cards. And then I was thinking, what can I do with these cards? Oh, this one is so nice. The paint was so thick that when I tried to straighten it, it actually cracked. It's so yummy. But the back of the paper is fine. It's really cool. Like it didn't rip or anything. Generally, trying to find something for these cards was a bit tough. But I was really tired and I didn't want to go in any other container to look for any other focal points. So everything has to be found in this little container. But I hadn't gone in it for a long time. So it was kind of fun digging through it and looking through it to see what was there and what I could probably use. I'm just fiddling around with the flowers, trying to figure out if to use them, where to use them, how to use them. But I really did find some nice stuff in this container. I forgot that I had cut out these things and I had these lovely prints. And that's the other thing, when you haven't used them in a while, when you get back to it, it's like fresh eyes and, it's like brand new. It's like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. But I remember at the time I was kind of fed up with them because I was using them all the time. So then I was thinking, what am I going to use these cards for? Because it's a lot. And I was thinking maybe I can make some little books with them, or I know people do this ATZ. Did I say it right? ATZ cards? I forget what it stands for. I'm going to have to look it up. I decided to use this yellow in the middle. I know it's not, things usually don't go in the middle, and I don't usually put it in the middle, but this time, this one, it was going in the middle, and I wanted it there, and it was going to stay there. And I liked that the black was just spreading out from the middle, and that just sat right there. I really like that. This particular card gave me a lot of trouble because of that shape on top there. It was just really weird. It was so weird. I don't know. And then I thought, long time I haven't used some thread, so I pulled out some white thread, and I'm going to use these flowers on top. So I found the white flower was just really too white. So I'm just adding some squigglies to them in the general shape of the flower, but very scrappy and squiggly. Just to add some color and break up that white. I must say I really did enjoy working in this size. They are so cute. I really, really, really enjoy it. I don't know if my next set will be this size, but I loved working with this size. So that's cool. And I think some of them could even be framed. These ones I pulled out the squares for this one I pulled out the squares and I thought that looked really cool. So I'm checking to see if I have any nicer, richer looking squares. And I found this one, but it was too big, so I ended up having to cut it down. Because the one that's there, it's a good size, but it's too light. So I'll just cut it down so it'll fit, and I'll use that there. Love working with this size. But it's nice to also work big. So I'm checking out the card and I thought these pieces that remain, maybe I could use them. They actually look kind of cool. Can I? No, I can't. So I'm just giving them a little outline to help them stand out and give them some character at the same time. That pen wasn't working well, so I ended up using the fude ball, which works over everything. It writes well. It's perfect. I love it, love it, love it. It's a really good investment. I'm happy that I invested. One thing I started telling myself with this is, okay, what I used to do before, and I still do because I have to, is no, I can't afford to buy this now because I need the money for this instead. But instead of saying, this is a hobby or this is something that I just loved, so I'm going to, maybe I shouldn't spend my money on this just because I love it, I tell myself that it is an investment. And that's the way, that's the only way I will be able to spend it, like, comfortably. You know what I mean? When it comes to art, I have to tell myself, Gina, this is an investment in order for me to spend the money. With Gabby, I don't even need to do that. Oh, she needs this? Okay, I'll find the money and I'll get it done. Life is so strange. So yeah, I just highlighted those little squares. Woo! Love that one. This one, I don't know. It's okay. It's interesting. I like this one too. I love this one. Like this one as well. Yes. And of course, I love leaves, so that's like a given. Yeah, this one makes me think tribal. I love leaves. Love, love, love this one. I love the squares. This is awesome. This one, okay. I like the thread vibes. I love the circles. I did it upside down, and I love the simplicity of this one. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Hopefully soon. Bye!